If you've ever
show, you gotta see this. For those of you who thought that the whole black goo thing is a conspiracy, well, it's not. And it's not just the fact that it's repetitive programming that we've seen throughout the years with Venom, with Prometheus. I mean, we've seen it in all these alien type movies. We've seen it with Lady Barfbag, all these celebrities rolling around in black goo, Billie Eilish, Eminem. People are just like, I woke up, they were like, hey, it'd be cool if I did a video where I dumped what looks like oil on my body. We've seen Greta Thunberg do the all-seeing eye black goo symbolism, right? Well, if you were wondering if it's just a conspiracy or anything like that, well, here's more proof if you need it. The World Economic Forum is introducing the black goo on their Instagram page, and they're calling it the slime robot. That's right. Old Graphene Ox is now known as the slime robot, and they call it a magnetic blob. I wonder why they're introducing this to the whole world. Well, because the whole world has, for the most part, already been introduced to it. At least half the population of the world has. They've been introduced to it all right. Now they need to know what exactly it's doing, right? And you might be a member of the website. Recently, I uploaded a video over there about Graph again, because Graph is being talked about again as being a cure for you-know-what. Yes, a cure for it, even though we already know what it's in, right? We know what it's in. Now they're saying it's a cure. I talked about this last year. I wouldn't be surprised if they start marketing it that way. Because remember, they're going to tell people that it can cure disease and it can do all these things because it's going to be transforming people. And now you have the World Economic Forum promoting it, talking about this quote-unquote new discovery. Give me a break. Get a load of this. So the magnetic blob, which is controlled by magnetic fields. We don't sound so crazy anymore, do we? Oh, right, we are, because we think that maybe people are willingly putting it inside their bodies when they're telling you, even in the video, that it's going to be a remedy for, it's going to be able to remove harmful objects from the body. So what would the harmful objects that it's going to remove from the body be? The organs? Right? Is that what it would remove? Because as it makes you transhuman, as it transforms your DNA strands, your DNA code, I can't go into deep detail here, but as it does that, well, your body doesn't need a lot of the human stuff, the human elements of it anymore. And of course, society will love this. And we've seen the black goo almost everywhere. Over how long now have I been talking about it? How long have other channels been talking about it? Specifically, I know at least 10 years a lot of channels have been talking about, even before I've been here, because people have noticed the programming and what it represents. And of course, they've slowly rolled out graphene and lithium batteries, and people don't connect the dots with the Matrix and the whole battery thing where he shows the battery, right? And how people will turn into batteries. And, it's just amazing that people don't connect the dots. But remember, we live in a society where they believe the news is real because that's what they're told, and everything's inverted. Everything on the news is fake. It is to completely control the masses. It is to cause division. It is to cause trauma. That's what the point of it is. All the stuff they feel relaxed and comfortable seeing in the movies, that's all what's really happening. And they're being programmed. They're being prepped for black goo.
We chase them.
Send word to Katie Prime to
could begin selling our spice reserves. You have no idea how much it cost me to bring such a force to bear here. No, I only have one requirement. Kill them all.
Let's put some ferrofluid on the plate. Ferrofluid is made of nanoparticles of iron, and when you apply a magnetic field to them, they follow the magnetic field lines in this spiky pattern here. The stronger the magnetic field is, the closer together the spikes form. So first let me show you what happens when I move a regular magnet near the ferrofluid. You can see it just sucks it up to the magnet. Okay, now let's bring the superconductor up to it. Okay, watch it push the spikes out of the way as I bring it close. That's because it's opposing the magnetic field at first. Now, if I were able to get it closer, then it would lock in place and it wouldn't push the spikes out of the way. But if I push it any closer, it's going to go into the ferrofluid. Another cool thing I observed is that when you bring it near the ferrofluid, the spikes actually start to flow towards it. Now this seemed odd to me because there wasn't a reason magnetically why it should do that. So I tested it with just plastic that was cold, not a superconductor, and it did the same thing.
Bring it over to the point of the bolt and just gently drop it on there.
Okay.
In fact, you don't even have to like touch it. It'll get pulled right over because of the magnetic field.
Look at it building up. Whoa. That is so cool. It's turning, I don't even know how to describe it. It almost looks like if I touched it, it'd be spiky.
Watch this. Okay, the magnet is actually drawing those particles. Keep loading it up. We're going to see how much fluid we can get on here. If you notice, you look really close, you can see they're like little spikes.
Yeah, that's what it almost looks like. If I were to touch it, it would be spiky. Clearly, I know that's not the case.
It's actually soft. It's still a liquid, but because of the magnetic field, it's actually taking on a different shape. Those little particles are actually little magnets, but they've been coated with a surfactant so they won't stick to themselves. But in the presence of a very strong magnet, they'll begin to take on these interesting shapes.
Oh, look, it's starting to get spiky even on the threading of the bolt.
Yeah.
That is super neat.
So it's fighting against gravity. The gravity is pulling it down. The magnet's pulling it down. Surface tension is trying to create these interesting shapes.
Sure.
But so it looks cool, right?
Yeah,
it's
looks
really
very
interesting,
cool.
very cool. What would you use it for? Is the real question. And so if you have a hard drive with a spinning axis that you want to seal, you can use ferrofluid. You put two magnets around the axle, and the ferrofluid will form a seal around the axle. Or if you want to separate things that are non-magnetic, this is a copper penny.
Sure, but we know that it's only partially, not fully copper, right?
You're right.
Okay.
It's zinc inside and a little copper on the outside, but in either case, it's not magnetic. Okay,
right.
It won't
Yeah, we
stick
know
to
that.
anything.
It's not going to stick to the fridge or anything like that.
How would I separate that out? We can use ferrofluid. So watch this. Load up my little cup with some ferrofluid. Just use the whole container. Just
like
you
that.
can
Just
pour
dump it in?
Yeah, just dump it in. It's okay. And if we,
That good?
Yeah, that's perfect. If we take the magnet and drop it inside, no great surprise, it's simply going to sink to the bottom.
Sure.
Now, here's where things might get a little bit messy. Watch out.
Woo!
Okay, if I take this super strong magnet and pull it away and put it underneath,
whoa,
the penny will float to the top.
Yeah, immediately.
Immediately. And if I take it away from the magnet, the penny sinks.
Wow.
If I bring it down to the ferrofluid,
and
penny
so
floats
that's
to
just the
top.
force?
The ferrofluid is actually, and I can have you feel it. I'm going to put this magnet back under the plate, and I want you to reach in with your gloves and touch that clump of ferrofluid. What does it feel like? Describe that.
Oh, gel. It feels like a hard, gooey gel, and I can't grab it off here even though I want to.
The density of the material has changed in the presence of a magnetic field, and this is one way that recyclers can actually separate non-magnetic or non-ferrous metals from magnetic metals.
That is so neat, and yeah, you can't, I'm trying to even separate it,
crazy,
and it won't work.
It feels like jello, it's really weird, but if we do take the magnet away, I'll try not to splash, it goes right back to a liquid.
Wow, that is really neat. So then this almost, in theory, can be reused as well, the actual...
It can, yes, absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
There's even some talk of using this sort of nanotechnology to target drugs. So if we attach a specific drug to the nanoparticles here, we could put it in an entire body and it would all be dilute. But if we target an organ with a strong magnetic field, we can actually cause all of the drugs to go to that one location.
So in theory, if you needed maybe a heart medicine that you didn't want going elsewhere,
in theory, yes,
there could be a magnet used so that we could
target that stuff using the tiny nanoparticles, and then take the field away. It disperses throughout the body, and you're fine.
Can't commit to anything but a crime. Leaders on vacation, and in California. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. Let me let you go.
I'm afraid you won't survive.
Some cells inside me will fight and defend their integrity till the very end.
Luke, the computer, it's moving.
What the hell are you?
I am Venom. You did not find us. We found you. Think of yourself as my bride.
You gonna eat anybody else?
Most likely is why we are here. Cooperate, and you might just survive.
And don't make me have to give it back to academics. You had it when you thought you had me slipping at the telly. Even when he ain't spitting like this on his last shit. Oh, you better go back and live. Revenge is the best medicine. Increase the dose from least to most and then tell the great. What? Piss and moan, but I'm not gonna fall.
So, unbelievable that the World Economic Forum actually has the audacity to post this. But then again, I mean, these are the same people that told us we need a reset, the same people who told us that we need digital currency, the same people that told us it's going to be an angry world, and the same people who told us that we're going to own nothing and be happy. So what does it take for people to realize that all the stuff people like me and you are talking about is exactly what's happening? Does anyone need to see more proof at this point? I mean, I'm pretty sure I don't. I don't need any reassurance that everything that we're all talking about and everything we're all seeing is exactly what's going on? I know for a fact it is. I don't have 1% of doubt at all. I haven't gotten up one day and been like, am I doing the right, am I wrong? No, I know 100% this is factually happening. And they're openly telling everyone because this is how the universal law works. They're revealing themselves, yet people aren't looking. Why do you think everyone is constantly being distracted by pointless crap? Look at this dumbed down society we have when they show you this stuff. And people are just like, oh, look at the comment section of the World Economic Forum, except for a few people who are smart enough to know what it is, who say, hey, it's graphene oxide, and, people have already experimented with it, that kind of stuff, where, people do know, right? A portion of us do know. Other people are like, cool, it's like turning into venom. And why do you think that there's all this marketing with it, with Venom and things like that? Venom was supposed to be, a villain for the most part, too, in that series. And now he's a hero, of course, even though he's like a vicious demon, apparently. But anyway, what do you think all the marketing for it is? Oh, you could turn into Venom? Cool, give me it, sign me up. I mean, that's how stupid of a society we live in. So the World Economic Forum is just like, oh, it was invented by scientists at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Oh, was it? Oh, and then they talk about how the robot could also be performing surgery. It could grab and manipulate wires. The magic graphene. I mean, the slime robot. I mean, this is an old video that I found here. They just posted this 2 days ago. So they don't care at all about the awakening that's happening. They're full throttle going against it. And all they're going to do is just silence people like me and you, and try to shut down channels and shut down voices and deem people crazy. That's why they have the whole mental health stuff going on. We have the people who have real mental health problems being given platforms, being promoted in society, while people who are actually telling the truth are being deemed mentally unhealthy. I mean, it's insane, right? You think that people who want to, chop off a dallywagger, maybe we would deem them something, but, mentally unhealthy. But no, it's people like me and you who are pointing out the stuff that they're sharing. And someone might be like, well, what does the World Economic Forum have to do with anything? I don't know. Why don't you ask your president of whatever country you're in? Because all the leaders of the world go here and meet. They all worship Klaus Schwab. He sits there and lectures them about what they need to do. And then they go and implement it, just like Trudeau did, just like Putin's doing right now. You got Biden there. Then you got your celebrities going over there. You got Bono going there. I think I read the Rolling Stones were even there once. You got Leonardo DiCaprio there. And they're like, oh, we're there for global warming and all this stuff. They're there to groom you and prepare you, to tell you what's best for you. And this right here, this is what they're going to market as best for you, because this is going to be marketed as a cure for diseases, as a way to live longer. Watch. And people don't realize they've already been a part of this experiment. So we have the magnetic blob, the slime robot. Is that what we should start calling the graph now? Should we start calling it the slime robot? What do you guys think? The magnetic blob? I mean, I guess they didn't want to use black goo because they didn't want people to search the black goo to see the predictive programming, to see everybody talking about it, showing it in your food and your water, falling from the sky like I recently covered in Las Vegas and other places, Texas. It's raining black droplets and they're like, what is it? And people are like, well, we're going to investigate. News 4 is going to investigate. And then they're like, we don't know. We called and we didn't get a call back. And that's the end of the story. Oh, thanks for all your support. Thanks for doing your job, journalists. And there's people like me and you who are like, oh, we know what it is because they're spraying the skies with this garbage. And it's not only falling down on the cars, it's falling down on us. And we're getting rained with what they call nano. That's for the algorithm. I had to say it that way. But isn't it amazing? It's amazing how God reveals this stuff to all of us. We all know it, and it's obviously frustrating seeing how stupid our society has become, but all we can do is keep plugging away, because for every 100 people that make fun and roll their eyes who are all doomed, there's probably going to be one person whose eyes are going to be open, and they're going to start looking into this stuff. And it takes time to awaken. You don't just wake up one day and every single thing you understand. It takes time. Every day I'm still waking up to new things.